Welcome back to the game, Lord Vader. Greetings and hello there, everyone. It's me, your Star Wars dad, Nooch Too Good, here to talk about the returning player in Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes. And every time I do a roster review stream, every time I get out there and talk to folks on Discord, it just happens relentlessly. So many of you out there are returning to the game, and I've been kind of fiddling around with this for a while. How do I talk to people that return to the game? Come on back to the game. It's a great time to come back. What do we do here? So I kind of settled on this just the other day. Here, it's a farming guide, and this will be a very different farming guide, but it's a farming guide for those of you who are returning to Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes. And we're going to talk about, you can see right behind me, this is a roster I'm looking at right now, right over here, a roster that has returned to the game. We're going to take a look at this roster a little bit later, and we're going to talk about, the ins and outs and what this roster could do to improve. But before we get to that, I want to talk about some of the principles, some of the things you're facing as a player coming back, some of the advantages, disadvantages, and what you should be focused on and what you should be doing. So let's start off with let's start with the advantages. I'm a glass half full kind of guy. What are the advantages of returning to Galaxy of Heroes? Because now you got, you can't play console games, you got a family, you got a job, you can only play 15 minutes on the toilet here, 10 minutes while you're feeding the baby there. Here's one of the advantages, guys. You've already got a roster. You played for a year or two or 6 months or whatever back in the day. You left the game because you didn't like something happened in the game. You didn't, something happened in your life, you were busy, you left, now you've come back, you've already got an established roster to build on. You don't have to go out there and get everything from scratch. You can start with what you've got. That's a huge advantage you have over someone else coming to the game. And speaking of huge advantages, you already know how the game works. You know how to play, you know how Galactic War works, you know how far, you got the basics of the game down. You know what's going on with the game. It's going to give you advantages for finding a new guild, give you advantages for playing Grand Arena, understanding mechanics, where to farm, what to farm, how to farm it, who, etc. Where, what, who, what, why, when, how, when. Yes, you get it. All right. Hey, you know why you left. You know the reasons that pushed you away from the game to begin with. Was it you felt that the developers were too money hungry? Was it that your life just got too busy? Was it that you were younger and a mobile game didn't fit your lifestyle? Now a mobile game does fit your lifestyle. Who knows? All the different reasons. The meta wore you out. The roster behind me, you might have seen it, is Revans. This person probably got worn out during the Revan meta, and when Darth Revan got released and all of a sudden we had Malik a month later, they just pitched in the towel and said, I'm going to move on. Hey, you know what you want because you know why you left. You know why you've come back. You know what you want to get out of the game. You saw that now there's double gear farming. Now there's double character farming. You want just a more casual game. You want to take the game a little more casually. I did that. I left the game for 4 months one time, and I came back and I said I can't do the game so seriously at the highest levels like I did before. It became work. I wanted a more casual environment while also competing. I wanted to have fun while pushing forward that competitive drive, and I found it. I found a great guild I could work with. You know what you want out of the game, and a lot of people that are starting the game new don't know what they want because they don't know what they're doing. Hey, the game has many more options. Whenever you left, now if you left a month or two ago, that's obviously not going to be the case, but hey, if you left like 6 months ago, now we've got double gear farming. If you left 2 years ago, now we have double character shard farming. We've got all sorts of new characters. We got new Galactic Legends. We got new teams you can farm. We have a new Night Sister that can make the Night Sister. We have a lot of stuff going on in the game that gives you many more options for what you're gonna farm. And the final advantage I'm looking at, and by the way, do me a favor, like and subscribe. If you're enjoying the content, hit the subscribe button, do the liking, make Mrs. Nooch a happy camper. Hey, the world is your oyster. If you come back to the game, you know how to play, you've got an existing roster, you know what you want, you know what you don't want. The world is right in front of you. You can do everything and anything you want to do. It's a really exciting time in your Galaxy of Heroes life. It's an exciting time to start the game. Do lots of fun things. You can do anything you want. Now let's talk about some disadvantages. And by the way, as we work through these things, I'm going to come around to the end of it and I'm going to show you what this person should do with their roster, give you another example, give you a couple examples of returning to the game and what people are going to do with their rosters. So don't fear, we'll get into specific farming advice for you here shortly. But the first disadvantage, your fleet arena is probably old. If you started the game 4, 5, 6 years ago, You're in a fleet arena that's well established. There's going to be a bunch of executors, leviathans, profundities up at the top of it. Really hard to overcome. And the fleet arena is one of the places that you earn crystals. Grand arena is the other. You know, it used to, maybe you left when crystals are being earned out of squad arena. That's no longer the case. Squad arena is gone. Now you earn all your crystals in fleet arena and grand arena. So if you're coming back after a long hiatus, you may have a really well-established fleet arena. It's going to be tough to climb in that. So just keep that in mind as you move forward, that your fleet arena is old. It's going to be a challenge to get crystals out of it. Your ideas feel old. You're like, man, I'm coming back to the game. This roster behind me with Revens. Well, nobody does Revens anymore, right? Well, I got to tell you, a lot of those old teams that you farmed in the past are still relevant today, or maybe have had a character or two added, and maybe they're more relevant now. I think of Commander Luke Skywalker as relevant as ever. The Revens are as relevant as ever. These teams are still really important to the game, especially with where you are. You're probably got a roster that's not super developed. Trust me, your ideas are not old. Your ideas are going to help you move forward in the game. One final disadvantage, hey, you feel like you're behind. You feel like I farmed up to where I am. There's so much to do now. I'm way far behind. Hey man, I'm going to tell you, there's so many options in this game right now. Don't feel behind. You can farm anything you want in this game, Star Wars related. It's a great thing about the game. It's a great thing about such a well-developed and it is aged like a fine wine. You can do so many different things. So yeah, you're behind the pace you were previously, but there's a lot of opportunity for you to catch up and jump in right where you are and make a difference on your roster and help yourself to have a ton of fun in the game. Let's start with the first thing you're going to do. The first thing you're going to do, you feel like you're behind, but you can jump into Grand Arena and start earning crystals, daily crystals and weekly and monthly crystals right away. We play Grand Arena in shifts of 3 weeks on, 1 week off, 3 weeks on, 1 week off. We go from 3v3 to 5v5 to 3v3 to 5v5. You earn daily crystals for wherever you are sitting in Grand Arena. Carbonite, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, bronzium, erodium, etc., etc., etc. Wherever you sit in Grand Arena, you earn daily crystals, and you earn more and more crystals. Your crystals ramp up as your roster grows bigger and as you climb higher in Grand Arena. So Grand Arena equals crystals. That's going to be your best path to crystal income right off the bat. And, you know, so that's the first thing. Hey, the number 2 thing you're going to do is you're going to find a great guild. I have a lot of videos. I have a video specifically. I'm put it up there right now, how to find a guild. I'll put it at the end of the video too, how to find a guild. Don't worry, it'll be out there. You can also just Google or YouTube, how to find a guild, Star Wars Dad. I don't even know if you need to type Star Wars Dad in. You can probably just Google how to find a guild, SWGOH. I think my video is maybe the first one on there. There's a lot of great resources out there. There's Discords for finding guilds. You can actually find a decent guild in the guild search button. Look for an active full one in there. Just get into a great guild. You've got an established roster. You don't have to settle for a brand new bottom tier guild. And sorry for you new players that are in bottom tier guilds. Not trying to offend you, but you can go find a guild that's going to more suit you. Tell them, hey, I'm coming back. What do you want me to farm? I'll go farm it. I'll add it to my farm so I can contribute to the guild. It's probably going to be geos in a lot of cases. And hey, the first thing you should do is maximize your existing roster. Don't get distracted by all the shiny new toys. That's one of our farming rules, farming mistakes that people can make, is getting distracted by shiny toys in the game. Don't get distracted. You want to be able to go in and maximize the stuff that you've got, and make the stuff on your roster that's already there work at maximum levels first, before you start going looking for Galactic Legends or Star Killer or Executor, etc., etc., etc. And with that, let's get into some farming advice for the rosters behind me. So this is I got 2 rosters to look at in 2 different situations. Here's the first situation. I mentioned it before. I think this player probably played back during the Revan meta, and they just got exhausted and tired. The Revan meta lasted a long time, if you put Jedi Knight Revan and Darth Revan together, it may have been like a year and a half that this lasted. And, it was crazy. Jedi Knight Revan was out for, 3 or 4 months, and it was the meta in Squad Arena, because we used to earn crystals in Squad Arena. Then they released Darth Revan, and you had to fork out a bunch of bucks to get him right away. And then a month later, they released Darth Malak, who you had to have on that Darth Revan team for it to work right. And a lot of people checked out, said, I'm done. I don't want to do this anymore. It's just a big cash grab. I'm out of here. They haven't done anything like that since, where they added one character like a month later. So this person probably was around then and has come back to the game now and is looking for, what do I do with this roster? Well, it's been what I just said. You know, the great thing is, you've already got Revans. You got both Revans on this roster. You got a Darth Vader ripe for the picking, and that may be about it. I think they're kind of missing a lot of other stuff. But, well, there's a SWGOH Press. How about that? There's something we can build on. So look for stuff you can build on in the game. If you have a Wampa out there, Wampa's something you can build on. But let's talk about what this person can build on. It's going to be Revans, and more Revans and SWGOH Press. Hey, look at this. You've got Jedi Knight Revan, Bastila Shan, Jolee Bindo, Grandmaster Yoda. This is a team right there by itself. You might be able to relic Juhani and feel good about it, and then go get Starkiller, because she fits on the Starkiller team in Territory Wars. But look at this: Bastila Shan, Jedi Knight Revan, Jolee Bindo, Grandmaster Yoda. This is a team by itself for Grand Arena. Maybe you bring along a General Kenobi with it, you know, temporarily, but you need to relic these 4 characters. Get that final Zeta on Jedi Knight Revan. You want to get Grandmaster Yoda's Zeta here on Battle Meditation. It's gonna allow him to, what does he do? He spreads around right now. He spreads around Foresight to everybody. That's what he does with that. So maximize this team first, right here with this roster. You're gonna have maybe a different team on your roster. Maybe you got a CLS team. Maybe you got a Padme team. Maybe you've got an Imperial Trooper team. I don't know what you've got, but you want to maximize what you've got. The second team that this person can maximize is their Sith Empire. We got Darth Revan, who needs 3 Zetas and needs a relic. By the way, relic is finished. Nothing else. Gear 12 is not finished. Gear 10 is not finished. Relic characters. Gear 13, Relic 3, 5, 7. Those are your tiers to finish your characters. So Darth Revan in this case, relic him up, give him 3 Zetas. Bastila Shan, she's already got her Zeta, get her relic. She's already Gear 11, she'll be Gear 12. Gear 12 is fairly easy right now with the raid currency we've got. So Gear 12 and Bastila Shan. HK, go to Gear 12. I wouldn't go beyond that. Sith Marauder's a great guy to relic. He fits into a couple of different farms for Sith Emperor down the road. And Sith Empire Trooper. Okay, well, what you're gonna do actually, what you're gonna do is, when you get all this stuff done and you get your Old Republic and Sith Empire done, go get Darth Malak and then get him relicked as well. So that's gonna be great. Unfortunately, you got a Mission Vow Zeta. That'll save you some gear, but hey, you know, you get it. So that's what this person's gonna. You're gonna maximize the stuff on your roster first. Get Darth Vader relicked. Unfortunately, this Darth Vader has the leader Zeta. Get a Merciless Massacre Zeta. Got the right mod idea. Get him relicked. Start working on your mods again. Work hard on your mods. And the final character here to get done would be SWGOH Press. Get this guy relic. Get a Datacron on him. If you're not aware of Datacrons, go look it up. Datacrons. You'll learn what it is. Go look up a farming guide on my channel. You'll find out about SWGOH Press. You'll find out about Wampa. Wampa is a great farm now with your guild event, with your guild activity energy. I also think this person should go ahead and finish off their Geonosians. I'm a big proponent of this. If you wanted to get into a guild doing Geonosis territory battles, which is where you need to be, you should contribute with a good Geo team. You need Geo Breed Alpha in there with the Zeta, so get those Geos done. So that's just an example of what somebody should do with a roster like this. Of course, work on your mods and start working on characters. Go find people out there. Go find farming guys that can help you with what you want to do and move forward. So that's several months of work to get that done. Let's take a look at a second roster and see a little bit different situation. All right, here we are in the second roster, and I started on ships because I forgot ships on the other one. Hey, it's really important to get into that guild that's doing Geonosis territory battles. Really, really important at minimum, because you get that Get To currency and you can farm Malevolence and Negotiator with that. So that's super important. And if you left the game and you already had Negotiator and Malevolence, it's really important to get these fleets maximized. You want to have a 5-star Vulture Droid, a 7-star Vulture Droid, a 7-star Hyena Bomber, Geo Soldier, Geo Spies, Sunfat. Get all these guys at least up to Gear 12. You want to have this Separatist fleet really rocking. And the same thing with the Galactic Republic fleet. If you're sitting there and you've already got a Negotiator, you return to the game, you want to max out this fleet. Get the I always say B-Wing. Get the Galactic Republic Y-Wing farmed. Get these Galactic Republic ships up and working. You want to relic Anakin. Just, these are the fleets that are really, if you were around a while ago, you probably got them. Yeah, they're not necessarily the metas now. In fact, they're not the metas now. Now the metas, you can run a Chimera thing to counter some Executors with Empire in there. there with TIE Defender, and also down the road for you probably the TIE Interceptor. You can run teams here with Chimera. It's a little more difficult, and you got to do it the right way. That's maybe not the way to go. I want you to know something else. Hey, the Finalizer. If you got a Finalizer on your roster, that Finalizer can counter Executor in your Fleet Arena. We talked about Fleet Arena. If you have a 7-star Finalizer and all these 5 ships right here farmed, you can actually counter an Executor. I've got a video out there, Finalizer versus Executor, so go check that out. That's one way for you to counter Executor in your Fleet Arena and to climb. Not a great defensive fleet, but it can help you get up to the top levels of your Fleet Arena. Won't get through Leviathan, won't get through Profundity, but one way to counter one of those Galactic Legend fleets for sure. Now, this roster's in a little different situation. This person actually is not returning to the game, but this person, it just left the game recently. Now, you're going to see again, if you come back to the game with a roster like this, look at this, where the Revens are sitting there again waiting for you. But this roster also has a Padme that needs to be finished, has a 3PO, a Bosk, a Darth Malak needs to be finished, Chewbacca. There's a lot of folks on here that need to be finished. Again, maximize and build from the roster that you've got. But another thing this roster has that a lot of rosters don't have, and you may have this too, if you left at some point, you started a Galactic Legend farm, or maybe you were just pretty well along to it, you may have yourself deep into a Galactic Legend farm, and this roster is deep into a Jedi Master Kenobi farm, a Relic 8 General Kenobi, Shak T, not Grandmaster Yoda. Grandmaster Yoda. Sorry, I was thinking of, my brain gets mixed up between Lord Vader and Jedi. So Grandmaster Yoda, Cody at Relic 5. That doesn't get done unless you're farming Jedi Master Kenobi. Not Art Trooper, Qui-Gon Jinn, Mace Windu. Maybe you got something like this. Maybe you've got a bunch of First Order that are Relic. That's probably the most common you're going to come back to, is a First Order team. We are looking at, you've got, maybe even just have a team like this. You got a bunch of 7-star, Gear 11, Gear 12 First Order. You're in really good shape to take what's on your roster and maximize it and go get Supreme Leader Kylo Ren. So you got to look at what's on your roster. Is it there for the picking? Is it ready for you? Is it ripe? Is it juicy? You want to take a big bite out of that Galactic Legend, and you just want to, I don't know where I'm going with that, but hey, use what's on your roster before you go start farming a bunch of brand new shiny metal objects. Jedi Knight Revan needs to be finished. Darth Revan needs to be finished. 3PO needs to be finished for that CLS team. CLS, Han Solo, Chewbacca, 2PO, 3PO. It's an amazing endgame team, and if you played the game at any point and left, you probably have CLS and Han Solo and maybe Chewbacca on there. You just need to work on 3PO and 2PO. That's a really, really important team. Padme is an important team to this day. When you get to 4 million in Proving Grounds, she conquers at least half of those Proving Grounds battles for you. Bosk is important down the road for Executor, and just having that Houndstooth maximize is so important on every single roster. Darth Malak, Chewbacca, Bass, Lashawn Fallen. The battle droids. Look at this. We got a Relic Grievous and a Relic Magna Guard up here, a Relic B2 and a Relic Droideka. Get this B1 Relic, finish off, maximize what you've got on your roster. Dark Treya has a great Omicron. Now you can get Darth Sion, you can get Nihilus up. Work with the things on your roster before you go start farming a bunch of new stuff. And hey, that's where we end up. We go back to it here. I want to show you this again. What are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? Work on your Grand Arena teams. Go watch me play Grand Arena. Go watch a previous farming guide to understand the Grand Arena teams, the teams that are out there. Wampa and Savage Press, Emphas Nest, those are great Grand Arena teams. Go find a great guild. You've got to be in a good guild as you're recovering. You've already got a roster. You should be able to get into a guild that's doing at least Geonosis, Dark, and Light Side territory battles. That's going to be a big deal for you. And if they're winning TWs, that's just a little extra bonus for you as well. And they're going to get you into big raids, Crate Dragon Raid, possibly. Get into a guild doing Crate Dragon Raid. That's really, really important now for all the currency you get. And maximize your existing roster. And boys and girls, and ladies and gentlemen, and cats and dogs of all ages, these are the things you're going to do as a returning player in your returning player farming guide, learning how to come back to the game, make the best of it, do great things, become the player you want to be. Make sure to like and subscribe, and I can help you along that journey as well. I will talk to you soon. Have a great day, and always remember, Nooch too good.